What's power? What's power? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Black in a Minute podcast, brought to you by Twyman Art. For those of y'all who do not know me, I go by the DarksKing poet.
Debating about what it takes to become a boss. 28 is still
NeRo bumping right now. But tonight we're gonna be talking boundaries. NeRo's gonna be joining me shortly. The life of a busy man. He's just finishing something up with work. He will be popping in with us tonight. We're talking boundaries. So I hope y'all brought some healthy boundary suggestions and advice. We'll have you with you.
I need to breathe for a second. Something perfect. I teach the title to evil and reckless. Full of demons playing preacher and masquerading the mess. Just like my grand.
As y'all know, the discussion ain't gonna start till about 15-20 minutes in. So hang tight. Hope y'all doing good tonight. Like Usher crying and chilling. What's going on? Who up in here with me tonight? What's power? What's happening?
Every time I feel alone and I'm left, I just wonder why. My mama and my daddy can never play their role.
We got somebody from YouTube. What's up with you? That's NeRo AnGeLo in the background playing, by the way. His latest project, 28. Links to that are in the description as well if you want to hear some of the tracks on here. If you want to listen on your off time. Also, I have my own little project of sorts out on SoundCloud right now. It's called 23 Days a Night. 23 days worth of poetry, mostly dark themed. You know, we got to keep on theme. Halloween's coming up. It's October. Also, for those who care, I'm about to be a year older here in approximately 2 days. So, feeling good about that. What's going on? Definitely like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share this with your friends, family, whoever you want to get involved in the discussion. That's how we keep these videos lit. That's how we keep it entertaining, but also that's how we keep it informative with different opinions from different walks of life. Tonight we are talking boundaries.
Contradiction, prediction, and study often. Revision, information, perception, specific artists.
Let's see what's going on here. Who I got up in here with me? Somebody check in. Say I got a couple folks in here. Somebody on Twitch, somebody on YouTube. Who y'all be? Like I said, NeRo will be joining us in a few minutes. He just running a little late trying to save the world. At least that's what we're going to say, at least. What's going on? What's that? Somebody else that they will not even know. I keep it all myself. I'm trying to rock the boat, but I might drown. It's like I'm not crying. Cause I see the way the energy goes and you're not dying. The gas like you make me feel crazy and start lying. I'm napping the closer, keeping my love in the holster. Cause if anyone tries Speaking of gaslighting, we talking boundaries tonight. So I can't wait to hear some of the input that I know you guys are going to have this evening. Definitely go ahead and share this with people that you know that may be interested in the discussion. What's power? What's up? Also, guys, anybody interested in any of the merch? We have a website that has shirts, long sleeves, hoodies. Might even be some jogging pants on there. We got stickers, mugs. Go check that out. Link is in the description. life, but I'm running out of steam.
See you soon, brother. Power. We have so many more updates and good things coming to you guys in the future. So stay tuned. We are pretty much approaching our 1 year. So, like I said, we got some pretty cool things coming down the pipeline for y'all, especially this holiday season. Who in here with me? Say you got a few of y'all up in here. Who in here with me? Let me know. What's up? What's power?
Anything you really want, you gotta take it. Don't stop until my crib looks spacious. You gotta play the game like Sega. You gotta play the game like Sega. You got better than I got.
Gotta play the game like Sega.
Really wanna try my patience, but I gotta play the game like Sega. Gotta play the game like Sega. Yeah, easy trying to make it to the majors. Low sweet trying to add more flavors. Prestige.
Let me get this live going on Facebook for y'all.
Bills never stop enough to keep you paid up. Double blocking them souls, stay prayed. Short temper, Lord knows it's in my nature. I spend a lifetime working on my anger. But every now and then, I find a reason to flip and desperately attempt to keep it under control. Pull it out like a weapon the moment to get distressed and send somebody to heaven getting me.
What's power?
Time to be with the squad, time to be riding solo.
All boundaries. What's going on, Sonny? You inspired a bar, by the way. I'm still working on it though. It's a little shaky, but like pieces of it, you inspired. So shout out to you, DSOG Mental. All kind of boundaries. Also, while it's on my mind, rest in peace to Colin Powell. And for the sake of just putting it out there and not spreading misinformation, he was fully vaccinated, folks. He died from COVID complications. So don't let nobody put it in your head that the only thing that you need to do is get a shot. You need to take care of yourself. You need to exercise. You need to keep your immune system up. You still got to do that other shit, people. Oh, I'm working on it, bro. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Also, for those of y'all who are big into the poetry, you like lyricism, right now on SoundCloud, 23 days a night. I'm dropping 23 poems this month. Damn near every day, but not every day. So if you guys are into poetry, definitely check that out. I'm probably going to drop something tonight. We'll see. It's been a little sporadic. But yeah, I promise 23 poems. That's what I do promise. Right now, we got, I don't know, like half of that. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Sonny, that private mixtape with the Drake beats, is that now public? My fault if I'm spoiling. But yeah, man, shoot. I ain't even, like I said to y'all, for those y'all keeping up, birthday is in a couple days. I'm excited. I'm probably gonna go to Chicago. I'm not even in front. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like I'm kind of like still debating in a way. There's some things that came up, but yeah, we might take a trip to the city. I feel like I need to be at home for a little bit. So we gonna see. We gonna see. But yeah, if you guys want to get more people in the conversation, please go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Nah, it's not. Oh, okay, still red tape. Okay. Okay. It's just for that. Everybody. All right. Gotcha. Thank you, bro. But yeah, we gonna have a general boundaries talk because I feel like there's no bounds to boundaries, pun intended. So, mainly what we're talking about as it relates to boundaries is the applications and usefulness of boundaries, creating healthy boundaries, and even also sharing, boundaries or suggestions, maybe advice for people suffering from things. Because we have to remember that the primary reason that we establish boundaries in the first place is due to fear, in the form of uncomfortableness, in the form of privacy, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of reasons to which why we create boundaries. You know, it's not that much different from rules, not as solidified as something like laws, but all of these things kind of correlate. You know what I'm saying? So I think we definitely need to talk about it, especially because we talked about red flags last week. So I mean, how are we not going to talk about boundaries when we talk about red flags? You know what I'm saying? To me, that just makes sense. Hey, what's power? One of my favorite songs by NeRo. It's called Whoa. It's self-explanatory too. Hit him with the whoa. I wish this man would have damn near came up with like a hand gesture or movement for this song, because I feel like it needs that. If this was like the 2000s and this came out, there would have been a whole dance move with this. But yeah, y'all, you know, we'll get the conversation started here in the next 5-10 minutes. Trying to wait for NeRo. He's busy saving the day. Saving the world, rather. That they are DSOG mental. That they are. So are laws. Right? What are we regulating? And why? Is it healthy? Positive, negative? What do we think? Because you know, boundaries kind of have like this gray area where like they're a necessary evil, because people like, okay, boundaries, cool. But like at the same time, people be like, boundaries, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird how we universally act towards boundaries. It's either you down with somebody's boundaries or you not. And usually it's not no in between, unfortunately. We gotta work on that. Especially as it relates to personal interactions with people. Because man, let me tell you, these conversations about boundaries and relationships, y'all be killing me. And not even with having boundaries, but not respecting other people's. And we're going to talk about that today. Because I've been in both positions before. For sure. Definitely when I was younger, I was more the type that wasn't even trying to understand, didn't like other people's boundaries, didn't care, because I was like, this ain't serving me. And that was the wrong way to think about it. Me as a grown man, with the 30 piece, it's just like, I need my boundaries respected, so I gotta respect boundaries too. But we gonna get into it. I ain't gonna give y'all too much. The title of the song is called Loud, featuring Sonny Touré, one of the guys that's actually in the chat. Shout out to him. Y'all can check out some of his work as well. Available on all major platforms. He got stuff on SoundCloud, Spotify. I rock with that dude because I respect his lyricism. And if you know me as an artist, I primarily care about lyricism. I care about what you say, not how you say it, but what you say. So if you guys like lyrics, definitely check this guy out. No problem, bro. You already know what it is. Hey, matter of fact, while I got you in here, I need to drop something on you real quick. NeRo got this song in the vault. Of it's because of you or because of him. It's this song in the vault. It's called Phantom Menace. I wrote some lines to that shit. And if a remix come out or y'all decide to let it out, I want to be on that motherfucker. I got some shit to say. I'm gonna bring it back up too when NeRo get here because he be acting funny about it.
Truth whenever they say preach. Always back over fiction with a practice diction. It's a level most cannot reach.
Facebook, I'm trying to get the comments straight.
Niggas know the difference. They might have bars, but ain't me. Chilling at work when I'm reading about Malcolm.
Might have bars, but ain't me.
I know if nothing is given from God. Make power moves when you give me the nod. Shout out to real men, a finger to frauds.
Man.
Profits and tokens involved. They peeping the way. Not even afraid. There ain't a way to make this one stop.
Yeah, look into that. Yeah. I got some lines for that though. NeRo said all I need to do is record. I told this man, I'm like, we can set it up. I'm ready. Cause as soon as I heard the shit, I was like, oh, this is it. I rock with the beat. I rock with what y'all saying. It's cool. Let's see here. Where y'all at?
Hey, baby, I'm back like I never left. Quarantine got me feeling too lazy. Crazy that I'm still ahead by like 7 steps. So
yeah. Look at this man. What's happening? What's power? My brother here now. We about to get it chopped.
Running your mouth to get lights for a cause. Just can win because you can't take a loss. I'm the one lead the team to the playoffs.
As soon as I thought this man about to come in the studio, this man went to the restroom. Who does the production work or has the studio? So, you're not talking about for the. I imagine you're not talking about for the pod. If you're talking about for the music, NeRo himself. All you gotta do, hit him up. Hit him up. He does all the mixing and mastering and all that. Shoot. That's the beauty in this artist lifestyle, man. You know, you start out in it alone. So most of the time, you know, most of us, when you broke and you lonely, it's just you putting in the work until you get behind, you know, someone or somebody pushes you or gets behind you. But yeah, a lot of people are still self-sufficient, where it's just like one, maybe two people. You be hitting the mic. But
I'm just a young black rep degenerate. You won't see me on Oprah or Degenerates. Tap dancing in the set of
you won't see me on Oprah or Degenerates.
Never cared if they remember my name. Let the rhythm hit them like it's a bullet. Keep you losing trigger, dare me to pull it. And I'm scattered brains and shit in the pull up. Run it back like a rap in reverse. And still can make the competition disperse. They only mama cause they don't know the word. The Tommy's power shake the world with a word. Black gold, every whisper a hit. Black soul, got them raising the fist.
Let me see.
Ain't no way to stop it. That penny's dropping at the flick of a wrist. I'm just flexing, but I'm here for the smoke.
But yeah, man, definitely share this and stuff, y'all. We are considering changing the timing of the stream and even possibly the date. We haven't figured out all of the logistics yet, but we are going to definitely check in with the audience, you know, see if there's a more appropriate time as well as date. But shoot.
Niggas be eating on the weed and the drugs. I just can't get into that. Ain't in the trap, but the triggers and thugs. I just be spitting the facts.
What's happening, sir?
Good.
This man changed his shirt. He wasn't playing. Oh, was that the form? The uniform?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're gonna have to
let me
downshift that. Let's get this
Good, everybody. That look good.
pull it back a little bit.
Back this way? Or back towards you?
This way, like back toward us. Some more. You can run that mug up. All right, that should be good.
Good?
Yeah, it's good.
We ain't got a cameraman yet, so we the cameraman.
Oh yeah, hey.
What's
shit.
bracket?
The cameras are a few $100s.
Yes, Lord. Look now. Struggle's real with that. Shoot. All right, what I miss?
Oh, nothing, bro. You know, me and DSO and Sonny chopping it up.
Okay,
I do
okay.
studio work. Also, my cousin. We work with some big people. Well, you already know what to do. It's all about networking. Listen,
Right. What's good?
I've come to the conclusion as a grown ass man that you don't really make friends no more. You network.
Right.
Like the places that we trying to go are bigger than PlayStations. You know what I'm saying? So you got to talk to people who are already in the space you want to be in and dominate.
That's true.
And naturally, you're gonna be gravitated not only to seek wisdom and guidance from those people, but for them to essentially become friends if y'all chasing the same goals and dreams.
Right.
At least that's how I'm going about it. But
right. I feel that.
But shoot, man.
Networking and keeping a good rapport of respectability is all but too important for these things. Like you have to be that way. Because if you're not, honestly, it don't matter how talented you are, it don't matter how skilled you are, whatnot, you are not going to be. You're not gonna get seen. You're not gonna be talked to. You're not gonna be communicated with. In my experience, and I'm sure in his experience, it's fine. In my experience and his experience, we ran into people who were absolutely talented, who were absolutely dope and good at what they do. What's bracket, Sonny? But for real, because their attitude wasn't right, because they didn't carry themselves in the proper way, they got no work.
Facts.
That's something that you got to know for every aspect of life. You have to carry yourself in a respectable manner. If you don't carry yourself in a respectable manner, no one's going to respect you. And that kind of goes into boundaries too.
Talk about it. Because this your week, sir.
Yeah.
This was your suggestion. I'm rocking with it. But I want you to speak your piece.
Boundaries are important because not only does it set a goalpost, or not a goalpost, but like not only does it set a certain line or a standard for other people to go by whenever they deal with you, it also sets a standard for you to where you know where your limits is. You know where you're not supposed to go. You know where you're not supposed to be or where you don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? It allows for there to be a mutual understanding of this is where I stand. And I think that's important for a lot of people to have, because a lot of us, we wing it through life in a lot of things. And we'll nod our heads and be okay with stuff that maybe we shouldn't be. Just because either, if we talk relationships because we like somebody, or if we're talking about friendships because we don't want to, sometimes it's that too, because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to feel like the odd one out, you know what I'm saying? But look, if your boundaries is your boundaries, let them be so. There is no shame in having boundaries. Boundaries only say that you have an understanding of where you want to stand, where you want to be, and the type of person you want to be seen as. You know what I'm saying? You have an understanding of yourself, therefore you have these boundaries set for yourself.
I agree. I rock with that 200%.
Yes, sir. You have to do that. You have to do that, especially as we grow up as people, because when you kids, you ain't gonna really have no boundaries like that because you're a kid. But when you are an adult, you have to have boundaries, because people will always try to find ways past them. People will try to find ways to get you to do something extra, or a little bit of this or a little bit of that. And if you're too easygoing, they'll think that they can work you that same way. I deal with people like that all the time. Not just me, but like people who are in my line of work and everything. There's always anytime you allow somebody, and I mean, this man, he a manager. Anytime you allow somebody an inch where it wasn't warranted, anytime you allow somebody any space or space to move where they shouldn't, it is something that they will make you pay for, because of the fact that they'll continue to move the boundary. They'll continue to test things out and see how far they can go.
Moving the goalposts.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely that.
Okay.
Absolutely that.
I'm rocking with that.
That's why one thing you realize when you set boundaries is that you end up having to or starting to, you either start dissociating with a lot of people or they start dissociating with you.
Oh yeah, setting boundaries has this beautiful and benevolent way of cutting the bullshit.
Oh yes,
Like the bullshit just,
it trims the fat.
you get straight to the point.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we live in a day and age where the truth is infamous.
Right.
Meanwhile, the lies prevail. So
Exactly that.
we even have to. Yes, but
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So we even have to sometimes, right?
Mhm.
We find ourselves caught in a rock in a hard place when it comes to these boundaries, because on one end we don't feel like we want to be restrictive, but on the other end we understand that in order for things to function properly for us, they have to go a certain kind of way.
Right.
And that's the problem when those two things meet.
Right.
So it's like, how do you reinforce a solid boundary while also not feeling guilty for choosing to do that, and how that might make the other person feel?
Right.
And I know some of y'all might hear that and be like, well, I don't give a damn. It's my boundaries. But hold on, though, right?
Mhm.
Because then there's the reciprocity side of things, where the shoe is now on the other foot.
Mhm.
Can you accept someone else's boundary? Are you willing to be understanding to someone else's boundary, even if you don't like it?
Yep.
Because see, that's my thing. I remember talking with M-Dot about this before, but I was just like, we might not like people's boundaries, and we do not have to deal with them either.
No.
You can self-select yourself on somewhere if you really don't want to deal with it.
Right.
But also remember, like, don't be the person that, like, yeah, I understand it, but I don't like it.
Right.
Because the truth of the matter is, don't nobody want to hear that shit.
Right.
Like, you don't think that's not a slap in the face to the person that established the boundary? Like, yo, I literally put this in place because of a fear.
Yeah.
Because of, some form of comfortability, safeness, or security, right?
Right.
And to hear somebody complain about the fact that exists,
yeah,
it's like one of the worst things you can do. So let's make sure when we say we understand,
really
that we really understand to the point that we respect it.
Yes.
Because a lot of y'all say y'all understand,
but
y'all don't understand at all. And because of that, you don't respect it.
Right.
Like, let's call a spade a spade. I'm sure some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all had a boundary before that y'all set in place. Mm-hmm. Person told you they understood. But every time you look around, they complaining about it. And it's like, yo, do you understand or do you not?
Right.
Because if you do understand, you wouldn't do that.
Right. And like, what's the issue? If you understood that this was already in place, it'd be one thing if everybody act different about it, or people were people were being unclear about their boundaries. Some people are unclear about them. But if a person is blatantly clear about what boundaries they have, you know what I'm saying? DSOG said the word is overstand. I knew somebody was gonna say that at some point. Let's see. Oh, and Keontae said because people mostly care about their own best interests. Yes, absolutely. But seriously, when you have well established boundaries.
What's up, Keontae?
When you got boundaries where it's like, okay, this is what we do. This is where we're at. You know what I'm saying? And somebody has a problem with it or has a contention with it. Yes, that's disrespectful because of the simple fact that you knew that this person had this boundary when you started. You knew that. You know what I'm saying? That's like if your mama say, don't go past the street lights, and you nod your head and say, yeah, okay. I'm like, what I say? Don't go past the street lights. Don't go past the street lights. All right. So you know not to go past the street lights, right? Yeah, what you do, you go past the street lights. And then your mama be mad and be about to go upside your head. And you go, well, mama, I don't know why you so mad. It was just a little bit past the street light. What did I tell you? What was the boundary?
Right. I just want to say real quick, those of y'all who was watching or trying to watch on Facebook, They changed up the controls for going live on there. It is now streaming on there. You haven't missed much, maybe 10, 15 minutes of that. Because y'all know we don't start it till like 15 minutes in anyway. But once again, sorry for the inconvenience. Got it going. Facebook been on my nerves today. That's going to be a whole little separate boundary tangent. But we going to get into that. They locked me out of my account. But we'll talk about that a little later. But speaking of boundaries, Keontae says some people's boundaries are like a living maze, always changing. That's a problem too. Yeah. Moving the goalpost. Yeah.
Because at that point, do you even really want to deal with somebody if you're going to continue to move the goalposts? If you're going to continue to change what the boundary is, if you're going to continue to change what the conditions are for somebody to deal with you, do you really want to deal with somebody in the first place? Or are you just doing this as a formality?
I do think that the way I see it, at least as it relates to like relations and stuff, at least how I roll, how I move, I ain't gonna tell y'all too much because but for me, I have different boundaries based on my level of connection to you, and I think that's most people. But some people hear that and they're like, "What?" Like everybody don't get the same access to me. We ain't doing that,
right. Well, I mean, it only goes to say that like a casual friend shouldn't get the same access to you as like a spouse.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's a boundary set in itself. Right. Everybody can't get in the club.
No. And some of y'all shouldn't even be mad about not getting in because you knew you wasn't gonna act right when you got in there. So
knew you was gonna get kicked out. I want to go. Let me in. When y'all ain't? Why y'all rock? Why you don't rock with me like that, bro? No.
Right.
You know why? You know why?
Look, and the thing is, boundaries are not an extra complex thing to understand. There are like small children establish physical and mental boundaries at a young age.
They sure do.
If they decide that they don't even like you or they don't like certain things that to be done to them or done with them, they will let you know. So if small children can understand the concept of boundaries, why then is it so difficult for full-grown adults who should be astute and understanding enough to know, hey, this probably isn't a great idea. I probably shouldn't do this. Why is it so hard for them to grasp that concept?
Right.
I mean, you grown. Like, you grown. You mean to tell me that a child is more astute than you when it comes to the establishment of boundaries? Like that's crazy. It's crazy, ain't it?
It is. And, like I always say, my favorite thing to say is, don't self-select yourself into a bad situation.
Exactly.
Meaning control the controllables. Like if you're not down with someone's boundaries, you don't have to deal with them.
No.
Look, y'all, we are the most free of modern time people living in this day and age.
Yeah.
As ever. If you don't want to deal with someone's particulars,
you have every option to leave.
Will they judge you? Yeah, but who gives a fuck? That's their opinion. That's their feelings.
I mean, it's better subjective than them actually dealing with you and then being mad.
Right. Like, if you don't like Kool-Aid, don't drink the damn Kool-Aid. It's that simple.
Right. Don't sit there and look all hurt that you look, and worse yet, don't sit there and look all hurt that you got to drink the Kool-Aid like somebody forced it down.
Yeah, like, no, there's other options. You can have tea. You can have pop. You can drink some water.
Right. Nobody tortured you.
Yeah, nobody forced you into this. But if you choose to accept the terms of agreement, deal with them.
Man said potential. But Keontae said potential. DSOG Mental said boundaries are controls to be placed on someone or something. Yeah. And they're necessary. And let's put it this way. Potential is poison. Ooh. Lord.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Never trust a big button to smile.
Hey, shout out to the 7 or so y'all in here. Please do us a favor. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. If y'all are not sharing this with other people who you've had these conversations with, what are you doing? Like, come on.
I love that we both went down that same.
You already knew it. Like, don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to them.
For real.
Some of y'all be having these same conversations with your little friends and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Have them with us. Yeah. Shoot, we want to have a good conversation. We want all the smoke.
And here's one. Let's see. But it says boundaries are controls to be placed on someone or something. Yes, they they are controls to be placed on someone or something for a purpose. It should be done with the express purpose of either protecting yourself or making certain that a standard is adhered to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, speaking of boundaries, you know that little lovely story we saw about that 55-year-old man marrying, not hooking up, not messing with, marrying his 18-year-old goddaughter. That is an absolute violation of boundaries.
Man.
DarksKing, some people are not ready for these conversations, though. Yes, you are right. You're correct. But here's the thing. When it comes to dealing with things on the emotional spectrum, including boundaries, including frustration, anger, trust, things like that, those are things that are going to occur in your life whether you like it or not. So you better get yourself ready. They're going to happen. Sydney on, hey, what's up, Sid? On, not you, Sid, but this Sid on Facebook said Woody Allen did it first. Oh, no.
Bruh. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Well,
oh God, he did. Oh, why did you have to remind me of that? Oh, that ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right at all. That's so terrible. But you're right. He did. As did Elvis, although that wasn't his godchild. It was just a very, very young lady. You know, that seemed to be a thing. But in all seriousness, where is the establishment of boundaries that should tell that person, hey, that's not something permissible to do. That is not okay to do.
DarksKing says he's actually 64. And Keontae says, where's his lifetime special at? Probably won't be one.
Why'd you say he's actually 64? Like, that makes it better. I mean, he looks pretty good for a 64-year-old man, but I guess now we know why he looks good for a 64-year-old man. He's trying to get them youngins.
If anything, he looks bad. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And y'all can cancel me, do what you want with this part.
Oh, Lord.
I wasn't even as bothered by the goddaughter part. What caught me was once she turned 18. Because, I mean, in my mind, you know, if you're religious, you might feel differently about this. But if you're not related to me, you're not related to me. But, and that God stuff, that's not blood. But as soon as someone turns a certain age, that definitely is pointing to some form of intent.
Yeah.
Like, there ain't no other way around it.
And here's my thing, is the fact that they got married while she's 18. Which means what? Which means that there was an acknowledgement or a implication of intent of certain things at ages that were younger than 18. And that part is the part that is most disturbing, because that implies that there may have been some level of grooming involved.
Okay, we got a few that came down. Kiki says people don't want to take accountability for the fact that they don't know how to respect other people's boundaries.
And there it is.
I'm highlighting that. Yes.
DSOG Mental said boundaries are things that make up a system. If you understand the system is how a system is and how it works. Yeah, that's true. Hold up, they already had a 2-year-old child. Okay, why are you plunging us further down the rabbit hole, bro? I was already annoyed and a little grossed out. Now I'm flat out disgusted. Yes, man said, whoa. Or the potential for something that have happened before. There it is. Dog, apparently something did happen before. If they got a 2-year-old child, hold up. If he's 64, does that mean she's older than 18, or is she still 18? Because, bro, I got questions. I have questions. Who? Present your receipts, bro. Don't have us dogging this man more than we need to. That's a thing. But no. Present the receipts. We got to see this. I want to see an article.
And see, that's the other thing.
Before the lifetime special come out.
I'm glad he mentioned the 2-year-old child thing, because see, the other thing is that different areas of the United States, different city, states, jurisdictions, or whatever have different
Ages.
rules and regulations as it relates to age of consent and marriage.
That's true.
So the other thing is that regardless of how we as people feel about it, right? The reason why sometimes the people are able to get away with these things, besides the fact that people are not telling or speaking up, is because in some aspects, at least in terms of the law, they're not disobeying it. And so that's just something to think about. I'm not saying it's okay, but a lot of people get away with little loopholes and things of that nature that allow them to get away with this. When many of y'all be asking, like, how are they getting away with this? Why isn't nobody? A lot of times it be stuff like that.
Because
sometimes people are definitely aware. Illegal. Yeah, like some people are definitely aware of these things. Like not everybody is like, not everybody is a victim. No. Some people are actively participating in some of these behaviors and shit.
Oh, absolutely. There had to be some measure of complicity whenever it comes to something like that. Now, to what level, I don't know. But there is some measure of it, especially once you reach a certain age. But that absolutely should not be a boundary you cross. I just personally believe that's not a boundary you cross.
Definitely
I don't care whether they blood or not.
Definitely
it's the
not
fact that
for me.
Whoever your friends was established and nominated you to be a person who would be the main source of protection, comfort, and support and proper upbringing in the event of their death. So I feel like you sitting there trying to messing around and screwing with that child, because that's still a child. I'm still gonna say it's a child because I'm old school and he old. School. That is a absolute violation of what you agreed to do. Look, I think Trey the Truth said it right. He's like, that is the exact opposite of what we trying to do. That is the exact opposite of what you were assigned to do. You did not understand the assignment, sir. Just because they said take care of my daughter, they mean take care of her that way. Now what kind of foolishness is that? Now my main thing is, what does a 55-year-old? I just have to ask this: what does a 55-year-old have to gain from an 18-year-old? Okay, what does a 55-year-old have to gain from an 18-year-old that doesn't involve something physical? All right. What are you actually in this for? Why are you marrying her? You know what I'm saying? No. Someone said, is that why they call it a Sweet 16? Get out, Javar. Yes, Kiki said he can go to jail. You need to go to jail.
I'm going to highlight that for like a second. All right, I'm done. Foolish.
Jail is a real place, and so is hell.
Foolish.
She said, she get all his assets when he died. I ain't asking what she gonna get. I'm asking what he getting out of her.
Hey, you know what, man?
Other than physical.
Which that's a whole nother thing in itself, Kiki, though. I'm glad you brought that up. Because, shoot, y'all know, I'm not saying that it is. Because we don't know the full context of the story. But y'all know that could definitely be the whole script of that could be flipped to where he being the one taking advantage of, too. Because remember, sugar daddy culture exists for a reason.
Oh, my
God,
yes.
There are some women that are the age of that girl that have sugar daddies. And women that aren't that much older than her. I'm not saying that's what she pulling. I don't know enough to know that.
No.
But that's a dynamic that's happening in this day and age, too.
Dog. And stuff like that. I remember, you remember being younger, being like 16, 17, and these girls sitting there going, I don't want no little boy. I need me a man.
Well, look at the culture, though, right?
Dog.
Like, the way the society and the culture is set up, though, is that, women in general date older, men in general date younger.
And I get that, but older is like, okay, an upperclassman. Not, old man Freddie who's walking around the playground and be sitting there hitting the R&B voice like, I've been watching you for a while now.
No, but you know what I mean when I say basically what I'm saying.
No,
is
I know what you're saying.
I'm
just saying
that like whenever we give people an inch, this is the mile that they've taken.
That ain't no mile,
bro. That's
a light year,
nigga. Light year,
that's
mile.
A light year.
You know what I'm saying? Dog. You hear me? That's what's happened though. Like there's always gonna be those people, right? That take shit to the next level, move the goalpost. You know, and that's what's happened here.
That man broke the goalpost.
That's what has happened here.
Broke the goalpost. I'm just like, for what reason, bro? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm 28 and I ain't got nothing to gain from an 18-year-old. Okay,
nothing to gain and nothing to give.
No, I ain't got time. No.
Yeah, Kiki said.
Too many issues.
If you subtract my age from his, I wasn't even a fetus or a sperm in my dad ball sack. Please get the fuck out of here,
bro.
Well,
thank you,
y'all. The comments. I'm loving them.
I love how the top chat didn't pop up those other two chats, but it said, at that age she only really got one thing to offer. Yep. If you subtract my age from him, and that's what I'm saying. Cheeks ain't even fully developed, and you sitting there trying to clap him with your old self.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a children's show.
If you don't go to a bridge club and find somebody to play bingo with,
get dominoes. If you don't go play some dominoes and some spades, sit your ass down.
Oh God, bro, come on now.
And I bet everybody uncle in the neighborhood and stuff.
I bet he got nephews, nieces who have kids
y'all,
her age.
This my wife. Y'all better respect her. Just cause she old, just cause she younger than y'all don't mean y'all can't disrespect her.
Nigga, there's probably like whole 30, 40-year-olds looking at her like, one of them might have been one of her teachers. Just looking at her like, I always told you wasn't destined for nothing, but good Lord. Like, it's a whole new low. Here's my thing. Dog. I have to question the sexual virility or skill, proficiency, or self-confidence of a man who is in his 50s who got to chase after an 18-year-old. Because I know why young niggas chase after 18-year-olds. No. Kiki said, I wonder if he got Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I got Blue Cross Blue Shield. I take that very offensive. Damn. Hold on now. I am a car carrier.
So is he. He just a car carrier something else.
No, that motherfucker, you mean AARP. That's what you mean.
No, what she mean is AAA.
AAA, AARP, term life,
VA card.
Whole life.
No, Javar said, Sid, but you're old.
But I'm not 64 old.
Oh, Jesus.
Shit.
Oh, my God. Look. But look, like I said, she said, what? That 401k.
He about to draw that Social Security in a minute.
Ooh, Jesus. Look, he might be with her because he can't. You know they keep moving. Look, speaking of moving goalposts back, look, some of us ain't going to get Social Security until we 80.
It ain't going to be.
Yeah, it ain't going to be. We going to be dead. They're going to be like, oh.
It's not going to exist.
Yeah, because it ain't 63 no more for anybody who's getting there.
67.
Yeah.
Y'all better be getting money or trying to find out how to get money. I'm telling y'all now.
Look, here's my thing.
It's about to be Squid Game out here.
Here's my whole thing about this. What is making you chase these young girls in deference of the women your age, bro? That's always my question. My question is always, why he close to the age of getting it? Yeah, he only got 3 more years. And then she'll be 21. It's a milestone for both. Let's do a dual party. Nasty. Anyway, the point being is, you gotta dig into why. Why are you pursuing a young woman, a young child like that? Because I know why niggas in their 30s do it. You know why niggas in their 30s do it? Because they can't get with no woman in her 30s because they know that she ain't gonna deal with certain things because she has established boundaries that he ain't trying to follow. Well, also, they may also have a certain Look, I know it's a children's show, but we got to be real. They have a certain standard of romanticism, sexual activity, and all sexual prowess, and all those things that is pre-established. And if you don't meet that, you can hit the curb. They do that stuff. They prey on these young girls because they don't know nothing, or they think they don't know nothing, and they think that they can mold them. You might be mediocre as hell to a 30-year-old. You might be a sex god to an 18-year-old.
I think.
Just saying.
Yeah, that happens. But you know what though? I think there's a little bit of. I think there's a little bit of shit on both sides, right? There's shit on the stick on both sides, because some of these men,
right,
they are headhunting. Some of these men, those women are not interested in them, not because they're any less though. So we gotta also keep in the frame of mind that like when it comes, it's you can meet women right now that don't want men your age,
right,
that are your age,
right.
So sometimes it's not even a matter of you not being you not being a man of class, but maybe you're not where they would want you to be neither.
Right.
And see, whenever we sit on the extreme end, like this example right here, we know what it is.
Right.
But generally, even when you go back in time and you listen, like you actually ask some of the older couples the differences in age, what you notice is sometimes you might have a couple that's 5 to 10 years age difference.
Yeah.
As grown folks, though.
And I mean, I get that. Like, but hold up. It's a biology thing. They're after her fertility. Whoop. Jesus. Kiki said, listen, if you're not putting my name on the stuff you own at the age gap, please F off. Because listen, where is her security? Because he kind of closer to the finish line than her.
She may already have some.
Right.
And see, that's the other thing. He
might be trying to get, and look, we ain't thought about this. She might have some inheritance that she's getting from her parents. Or some sort of amenities that she's getting from her people. And he's trying to get his hands on that.
Listen.
Hold up. Why my homie Jesse, shout out to you, man. He said, save yourself from entering a nursing home, possibly have a young wife change your diapers. Boy, you don't want none of these young wives. They'll let you shit yourself and just sit there.
Man.
Bro, look, you got some of these young ladies and young men who are young mothers and young fathers and won't even change their baby's diapers. They ain't gonna change yours. Look, trust me. Somebody said simply lust in our brains are programmed for 2 and 4 young women. Yeah, that's a valid point. You are programmed to chase what you like. But look, dog, I'm just trying to say
that goes both ways though.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when you really look at the climate for what it is, this is not some one directional thing.
No.
Like this goes in like what I said earlier.
It's reciprocal.
Like what I said earlier is literally what it is. Like and if you know, you know. Because I experienced this shit in high school and middle school too. The girls that were our age, they were mostly, not all of them, but they were mostly interested in the older guys. Yeah. It's not just from a how you act standpoint, it's also from the assets you have, because this is one of the other things that we have to understand in society. And this is just a part of the game. But one of the reasons why, at least from the male standpoint, like somebody said, fertility is one of the things. Some people view it as, easily going or easily led. But what it also is, because we only want to say negative things here, but let's keep this a whole buck. What it also is people be looking for folks that are cooperative, willing to get on whatever plans they have, etc. On the flip side, you got women who look for older men because older men tend to be more established. They got shit going for themselves. Sometimes. A lot of younger niggas, this is a most of the time kind of thing. Yeah. And there's stats to back this shit too. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start doing that too for some of these videos. We're gonna stat y'all asses too. Some of y'all be wilding and not living in reality. But like that's a real thing. Like some women date older men because they got their shit together. Yeah. The same way some older men date younger women because they're not headaches. The saddest. We don't want to say that though out loud. The saddest. Then you being sexist and all that other kind of shit.
You know what the funniest thing about that is that a lot of times change. Take the word think and put that in there. younger women chase older men because they think they have their shit together. Older men chase younger women because they think they won't be headed.
Oh yeah, there's anomalies.
The exact damn opposite.
Yes, you're right. There's anomalies. Because some people ain't there.
Yeah, look, because here's my thing. Sometimes the reason, this would be my reasoning for why I wouldn't want to go that route, is because we have no point of relation.
Listen, for boundaries' sake, right?
I can't relate to you. I can't talk to you about stuff that I view as important and as valid, because it's not valid to you because of the generation gap. You're not gonna get me.
Look, because you said that, right?
Right.
My personal boundary when it comes to age and dating, it adjusts. This is a movable boundary based off of my age.
Oh, geez.
And I usually keep it. Look,
be careful.
I don't
what
go
you
no
say,
past,
sir.
Oh no, I don't have to be careful. I'm not. Look, don't get it twisted. I ain't about to say nothing problematic, nor do I give a fuck what anybody feel about what I gotta say. But I only date people that are within 5 years of age, 3 to 5 years tops.
That's valid.
I don't play around with that kind of shit. And I've already experienced what it's like on that higher end of the 5 years more than once to know that there is a disconnect that does exist.
Once you get past a certain amount of time.
Once you get past a certain age. And, a lot of people don't like that, typically younger people, but we've all been in that younger person position to know that, like, as cool as it is, right? Yeah. To meet like a older person. 20, as cool as it is to like, or even as okay as it is to deal with somebody that's like 4 to 5 years younger than me, I've definitely seen the difference. Yeah. From a generational and connection standpoint. Yeah. Enough to where I'm more apprehensive about that stuff nowadays because it's apparent. Yeah. Even though, some people might be like, oh, well, it's just a few years. No, it's not. No, it's not. You'd be surprised, like
what a few years
does. And the amount, whether it's older or younger. Right. Like, depending on how big the age gap is or how monumental the time is within that age gap, you live different lives. That's like a couple of weeks ago when we was talking about Lil Nas X. That's why, what I said was, I was just like, Lil Nas X, he in his early 20s. Right. He's not old enough to remember the version, what cancel culture was before it was even cancel culture. Right. He's not old enough to remember the old version of the internet. Yes. Where it worked differently. You couldn't talk on the phone. Right. Because most of that shit was not a thing by the time he would have been using it.
It's already been a lot. And that's why we said, I'm like, a lot of this stuff that he's quote unquote fighting against, that fight has already been won and lost.
And that was a conversation about having tolerance, boundaries, and respect too. Right. It's like, yo, if you make the comment that don't nobody care when it's women, being half naked and shaking their asses, that'll tell me a lot about your mentality and where your mind is at.
And what your perception is.
And probably how old you are, because motherfuckers been caring about that shit for a long time.
I'm about to say the parents group. Look.
I watched a lot of shit go down because of what did they call it? Hip hop sexploitation. There was a whole fucking movie about that shit that came out in the early 2000s.
Bro, there were movies about this shit.
That was before Tip Drill and all of that shit. Look,
I was about to say, since you said the first set of words that I said that I was going to say, 2 other words. Uncle Luke.
Man.
Uncle Luke, the fact that Uncle Luke existed.
Don't stop, get it.
Look, that's the nicest one.
Right?
That's the nicest one. We can't compete none of the other ones.
Man, bro. I remember seeing, I'm not even about to go there on the fucking live stream.
I'm about to say, but like, hold up. Jesse said, the thing with boundaries, unfortunately, is that they're meant to be broken. Boundaries have that negative stigma that if you're putting up boundaries, you have something to hide or disconnect from people. And being human, we have the issue of being social in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, eventually the walls have to come down, right?
But some wall, but it also has to be the fact, because I agree with what you're saying. But the way that gets curtailed is when it's like, bro, let me get to that in a second. But is that you have to have an understanding of why the wall is up in the first place.
Excuse me.
If you have an understanding of why the wall is up in the first place, it helps a whole lot.
And you have to be respectful.
Of
You
the
cannot
wall,
like
yes.
it, but don't self-select yourself into a bad situation. If you don't like that shit that bad, get the fuck on.
But if you
why do you think somebody has to look? Why do you think that somebody's going to be okay with hearing you bitch and complain about a boundary that they set? Because that's what makes them feel comfortable.
And once again, why are you pretentious enough to think that they have to change for you?
Man,
but hold on. DarksKing said an 18-year-old can't do anything for me but walk my dog. There it is.
I was about to say. I was about to read that same shit.
Here's $25. Go do your thing. That's a babysitter. That is a babysitter. That's a lawnmower. That's a dog walker. That is a no. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Wait. And the bad part is they really do be out, and some of them ones that be right before that. Y'all talking to people now. Y'all talking to people now.
Come on, man. Listen.
Bruh, chill, Javar. But it's like one of them things where it's like, people really no, the way some of these young folks is now, I don't know why you want it.
Look, all I know is this.
I'm
ladies
good, bro.
And gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
I ain't got time to deal with all the stuff y'all got. I'm good. Y'all got more back.
Stand
your ground.
By your boundaries.
Please do.
But
we
also
entered the hurt feelings part. Yeah.
Also, be willing to accept someone else's boundaries too.
Absolutely.
Like, some of y'all be half-assed with that shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, some people be like, okay, I'm gonna accept them for now, but I'm gonna work those walls down. Don't accept somebody's boundaries with the purpose of breaking them.
No, let them take the wall down for you.
For real, don't do that. Like a popular one is if a girl or dude decides, hey, look, I ain't trying to have sex until I get married, or I ain't trying to have sex for this certain amount of time, and you be like, all right.
I swear, Kiki, I had that shit happen to me.
For real. Like
I had that happen to me.
But for things you will not tolerate, but while not respecting theirs, is crazy. There it is. But okay, so say you say that, right? And say the girl says, okay, I don't want to have sex with you for. You remember like that episode of Girlfriends where she was like, look, I got a 90-day policy. She's like, and I think they did that in Think Like a Man. It's like, I got a 90-day policy. It's like, what's the 90-day policy? I don't have sex with the person I'm dating for 90 days. Look, all right. You know what some dudes be thinking, all right, well, let's see how we can shorten this 90 days to about 60 or 30.
And I'm of the opinion when it comes to stuff like that, if you're not down with that, then get on. Because guess what? This is the beauty of the world we live in.
Why are you here?
If you're not comfortable with a boundary, like in his example, like one of those type of boundaries, I promise you there's someone who does not have that boundary that you can deal with.
Waiting for you.
Yeah. That's another thing. Look, it's okay if somebody don't want to deal with your boundary. That's also their right. They don't have to deal with your shit. But if a person ain't going to deal with your shit, don't deal with them. Right. That goes both ways. If you don't want to deal with the boundary, get the fuck on.
Yeah, for real. Look. The door is right there. The door is always open. It's a revolving door. Stop acting. And that's the part that annoys me. And I know that annoys a lot of people is when you try to set a boundary for something and then somebody sits there and walks around, like you said, and complains and acts as if they are a prisoner to whatever it is that you said. When no. If you don't like this, you have every option to leave.
Yeah, I'm very good at getting the fuck
and all
away.
that other stuff aside. Look, longevity and all that other stuff aside, because that's cute to say, oh, well, we've been together for 5, 6, 8 years, and we didn't stay together through all the stuff, through all the trials and tribulations, knowing full damn well that the trials and tribulations is because of your ass, because you don't respect their boundaries.
Also, the other thing about boundaries, right? Kiki just said, I was just listening to a thing where it was a crazy dude approached the girl knowing how she dressed, been doing all throughout the relationship, and it became a problem for him later on. And basically, let me tack on to that.
Oh, look, and she said, why approach her to begin with?
Try to change her, sir. Go for what you want and respect what it is.
Thank you.
Yes, because that's the other thing. A lot of y'all be doing that shit. Y'all will deal with somebody, not like some shit about them, and then what y'all do is y'all don't create a boundary. No.
You
Y'all create a
try
rule.
to change them. Yes.
Y'all create a rule, and that's different. Boundaries are set from the jump.
Yes.
They don't start later on. No. That's not a boundary. That's a rule. Right. Call it what it is, because there's a difference.
You're trying to be like, oh, well, you dressing too sexy. You ain't had no problem with it when you showed up.
When you set something in stone in the beginning,
ain't no issues.
Ain't no issues, and people can decide what they want to do then and there.
Right.
Like me personally, I like a more conservative woman when it comes to stuff like that.
Right.
So if I see somebody, it don't matter if they look good or not.
Right.
If you out here dressed a certain kind of way, I don't even want to talk to you.
Right.
I don't make the mistake of, she look good, so I'm gonna talk to her. Nope. Nah. And that's the thing. Like in this world we live in, there are plenty of options for both men and women. You don't have to settle for some shit you don't like and then try to rule out some other shit into it. No, you don't have to do that.
Right.
If you like, if you one of them taboo type of people and you got your little fetish or whatever, guess what? There's somebody that's gonna conform to that and ain't gonna have no problem with that.
Right.
Somebody what y'all be trying to do, y'all be trying to force people to conform to what you want out of them. Oh, you want her to do a certain thing that you like, or you want him to act or dress a certain kind of way because you don't like stop doing that shit. Stop trying to change people when you don't have to.
And what's messed up is when they do it in a certain way where it's like, you know what, you would look so cute in this, or you would look so, and that's that lightweight. It's not necessarily gaslighting, but it's subtle suggestions. Look, if the person wants to take the suggestion, okay, cool. Just like what we talked about before. Advice and suggestions should always be warranted. That's cool. Don't sit there and make suggestions like, ooh, you should wear something different, or you should do this, or you should do that. Because guess what you're doing? You're trying to mold somebody into your ideal vision of what you want. Look.
And you don't have to do that, y'all, because there's enough variety out here.
Bro.
Get out of that scarcity mindset. Men and women.
Yes.
Stop finding people and trying to mold them into what you want them to be.
Right.
Instead, actually find people who are already there. Because guess what? Then you don't have to do work on the person. Then they don't become your little pet project and shit. You ain't got to worry about potential and shit.
You know why they do that, though? You know why they do that? Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to use this as an analogy, at the end of the day, it costs a whole lot less to flip a house than it does to buy a fully furnished one.
Facts. You can build it up. You're going to put in so much more work.
Time. People will buy a flip house and put the bread in and the money in to flip it and make it what they want it to be, instead of buying one that is already fully furnished because it holds more value. It's harder to get. It costs more to get. So instead of going for that 10 that you want, you go for the 5.5 that you think you can turn into a 7.5 with some time.
I always say
some folk just lazy.
My advice is always to people, deal with people that are like-minded and like moral.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of the same page. There's a lot of, consistency that'll already exist there. It'll make it easier for you to get along. Y'all will have similar values, which is important because y'all boundaries might also align in ways too when you're similar in how you behave. Deal with people who already got their shit together, so that way you don't have to feel like you playing house and trying to build a bear. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stop trying to build a bear and getting mad because your bear don't look like how you want it to be.
For real. Look, people are not created characters.
Now, we know that people ain't perfect. We understand that. But damn it, you can be intentional and find good, solid people out here.
If you try.
And what you might also try to do,
getting slapped and then just picking out the first person you see is not trying.
Get somebody that is different from all the other motherfuckers.
Gerard says, say it louder for the people in the back. Yes, look. At some point in your life, you have to escape your preferences, or more specifically, your type. Because sometimes your preference ain't your type. Sometimes your preference ain't your type.
What you want versus what you need.
Yes.
Come on now.
Look. And sometimes, no. Sometimes your type is what ain't good for you and what you keep chasing. Your preference might be what you need and what is good for you. All right.
Start with them. I'm telling y'all, like-minded, like morals. Start with values.
Yes.
You got to establish values. Find out those surface values. Find out the structural values. The reason why you need to find those things out is because it tell you a lot, not just about how people think, but how they behave.
That's your roadmap. Look,
Okay?
here was one thing that I said when I was a kid. This is something I said when I was a kid. Is that I always said that I'm not going, if I can't have an intelligent conversation with a woman for more than 20 minutes, I'm not about to be messing with her. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how attractive she is. I don't care. Because for me, communication is important. For me, I want to talk to you. I want to have intelligent conversations with you. I want to look at funny videos and laugh at stuff. I want to feel like myself around you. If I can't do that, why the hell am I talking to you? Like I was literally talking to a guy, dude I just dealt with, a client I just dealt with, and we were talking about that. I said, I noticed that he said on his on one thing that he said, one trait that he would like to model to his children is being fun. And I'm like, that's a good choice because of the fact of you should want to be fun around your friends, your spouse, people that you like, people that you love, i.e. you should want to be yourself. You shouldn't be caught up in a relationship, and we've all done it, where you go into, you raising your hand, you don't even know what I'm about to say.
I don't, but I feel like it's going to apply.
It will. Where you go through every day walking on eggshells because you feel like you can't be yourself with the person that you have chosen to be with.
And I've been there, so yes.
Yeah, look. Look, for us anime junkies, if you feel uncomfortable we're watching anime around your wife, hopefully she ain't your wife, because she should know. Look, you might need to do some reformatting. Yes, there are some people that will say that's petty, but I say it's not petty. You know why? Because that's a part of my life. That's a preference of mine. And if you're going to judge me for the rest of my natural life about a preference that I have, I don't need to be around you. You know why? Because that becomes something that a lot of former addicts like to call a trigger. Yes, Kiki said, if I can't feel as though I'm in a safe space where I can be myself unconditionally, then it's not for me. Yes. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Like, it's all about that. It's like, look, bro, I should be able to talk to you about anything. And sometimes there's certain things that maybe you can't talk to your lady or your man about that you can talk with your homies about. That's cool. That's okay. Y'all can agree to disagree. Maybe I'm not saying that she has to absolutely love anime if you like anime. I ain't trying to say that she got to absolutely like every bit of music that you like or everything that you like, but she has to be willing to accept it and respect it.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I definitely had that issue before at one point in the prior relationship.
Look, I'm about to say everyone's been there. Everyone has been there. Like where you're in a situation and you doing something that is akin to you, and they're like, "Why are you doing?"
Man,
that?
I remember, I remember being in a situation shit. I wasn't a relationship yet, and she had a problem with me watching Super in the middle of the Tournament of Power. I tried to look. I knew this how bad I knew I was an anime fan, and I knew that I needed to work on myself because I'm just like, yo, I know you're serious trying to watch this shit. What are you doing? And she acted like she was so bothered about it. I'm like, damn. What? I wasn't even ignoring her neither before anybody think or say anything like that. To you? I'm saying, I'm like, yo,
bro.
You see I'm up here trying to watch this shit.
Yes, my home is supposed to be the place where I can find peace after a full day of BS. Speak that. Because here's the thing. We expend ourselves daily dealing with people that we don't like.
Woo!
Okay? We expend ourselves daily dealing with people that we don't like. Why on God's green earth would you want to go home and deal with somebody that don't like you? They like the idea of you. They like what they can turn you into. they don't like you. All right. And sometimes we do have to identify the difference. This goes back into the red flags. You have to determine when somebody either likes you or loves you, or when they love you theoretically. And by that, they like the idea of you. They like what you used to be or what you could be.
They might even like what you are, but as you exist in your shell,
they want
they don't like you. They like what's inside. They don't like what's out.
Yeah. Or it's the opposite. They like what you display because you're too scared to show them what's in your shell. So they like you like that. And they'll be like, no, you stay like that. That breeds stagnation. If you're dealing with somebody that's gonna stagnate you, why are you here? Like for real. I look.
What's happening, Damo?
Look. Peace of mind is important to me, bro. Peace of mind is important to me. So if it's one of them things where you gonna inhibit my peace, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, when we talk about boundaries, I also want to talk about the origins of some of these boundaries. As we've said before, a lot of times when we talk about boundaries as they relate, at least in relationships, they usually come from past relationship experiences. Same thing in regular life when it's friends. These are usually brought upon by past situations, and we learning from them. We gaining that hindsight and adjusting accordingly. I have boundaries today that I didn't have 3-4 years ago. And I had to adjust because of the things that happened to me for not having those boundaries, for not having that sense of control and discipline.
Yes.
Okay?
Say that again. Discipline.
Because that's what a lot of motherfuckers like.
That's
discipline.
The word. Look, something that was interesting.
Boundaries ain't just for other people. They for you too.
Here's the thing. A lot of us value images, how things look, more than the reality. And one case, I actually commended this guy that I was dealing with today because we had a list of traits of what it takes to be a man, or what is considered manly traits. Mm-hmm. And normally, all of them, except for one, is one that can be considered positive at all times, right? So you got self-confidence, you got determination, you got dependability. What was a few others? Successfulness, things like that. At the end of it, and I think the people who made this book did this on purpose, they put control over other people or situations. And you were supposed to rate each one from 0 to 3. 0 being not at all, 3 being all being a lot, right? So guess what most men that I dealt with rated themselves under controlling?
0 or 1.
0. Look, here's the funniest thing. This guy I just dealt with, he's the only one who rated himself at 1. He's the only one who rated himself at 1 because he said, well, I try not to be a controlling person. I don't try to control my wife or anything like that. I feel like she should be able to do what she wants to do. But I am a foreman and I work in my job and I'm over a crew of guys. And if something comes up, I have to take care of that situation. If my child is acting a certain way, I have to take control of that situation and tell them what to do. So it's not necessarily that I want to just manipulate them. It's because I have to. And I said, you know what? Look, I told him, I said, you know what? I appreciate you for being honest on that. Because a lot of people aren't, because they're so scared of what it looks like versus that they don't look at the functional application of that trait.
First of all,
you know what I'm saying?
Fuck that book. They're off kilter. maybe assertiveness would have made more logical sense. It's very not logical to for the label of that to just be controlling. I'm not even about to go into why that's not. They missed the mark on that one.
Look, it's considered most popular, and I think they dropped that in as a red herring. To be honest, I think they dropped that in to see what people say because that's tripped up a good many dudes. That tripped up a dude who I knew. Look, there was a dude who I knew was controlling because of everything he said before we even got to this point. He rated himself as a 0, and I looked and I said, "You're not controlling." He was like, "No." I'm like, "But you just said." You just said that if your wife had a problem with something that you were doing with the kids and you decided that you were going to do it, you would do it anyway. Is that not in some way controlling? He's like, oh, well, that ain't really counting. It's like, no. Don't cap. Rate yourself accordingly.
My problem was how they attribute that to an inherent masculine trait. That's why I say that that's inaccurate.
Well, the way they
semantics.
Did it,
it's semantics.
Look, the way they did it was these weren't things that they decided were traits. These are things that were commonly mentioned by other men, like statistically, as traits that make up a man.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's
and afterwards they would have you to list your own traits that you feel like encapsulate a man, and then rate yourself accordingly on those. But the interesting thing that I found is that it took out of 4 men, one of them picked out the fact that you do have to at some point take control of situations,
and that's called. There's a word for that. It's not controlling.
I know.
I'm arguing semantics.
Look,
I don't like shit like that.
Look.
Because it's a false. It's a false.
But you know why though?
Yeah,
you know
why?
Though?
I know why.
It's because the word control
has
a negative connotation to it. That's why I said I feel like it was a red herring, because every other
it
word
definitely
in there,
was. It definitely was.
Every word in there is actually something that you could almost always go positive with. But control is something that we are afraid of. Yes, Keontae said leadership. Leadership was actually one of them. But
assertiveness,
because
agreeableness, there's different. There's more different neutral terms that change based off the situation, and whether it's a male or a female in the space of doing. But that's a whole other conversation. But we ain't gonna get into that.
I'm gonna say this last part, and we're gonna leave it alone. But look at it this way. Look. Whenever you are viewing reality, because boundaries are looked at in this way too. A boundary is something that has a negative connotation to it.
Sure.
It has a culturally negative connotation to it. But is it inherently negative?
No.
Same thing with control. Here's the thing. You should not be a megalomaniac in your house. No. But there are certain things that you should take control or dominion of because it is necessary and it is your job.
They say that, Kiki, they are truly reaching when they try to shove everything just into one category. This is my thing, right? I'm going to tell you something. Some of y'all may already know this, but when they look at some of the CEOs for these Fortune 500 companies, the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, the Steve Wozniaks and people of that caliber, what they also find, besides the fact that those particular people are men, what you find is that some of the top men and women that are in leadership positions are in there because they are more progressive in certain masculine traits. Control isn't necessarily one of them. No. But what the trait is assertiveness, because there's statistics to show that basically one of the reasons why men on average, but not all across the board, make more money than women is because they're more assertive, which the correlation is that a man is more likely to not only demand something, right, but also to push forward and have those difficult conversations to then put himself in spaces that more docile men or even women wouldn't.
Right.
There's a certain type of person, basically put, that is able to achieve these higher forms of success and accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's why, the conspiracy theorists love to call it Illuminati, but what they're really saying when they say Illuminati and sell my soul, sell your soul, what they're really highlighting is that in life, for the most part, to assert your way up the corporate ladder, the hierarchy requires for you to not be nice.
Yeah.
You will
have
not
to be cutthroat.
Be nice. There is some cutthroatness. There's some assertiveness.
There's ruthlessness, all that.
Yes. And that's a real thing. It doesn't mean that those people are inherently bad.
No.
But what's to be understood is
they understand the assignment.
They understand the assignment, and they understand that being a nice guy or gal in this case is not going to get you into those spaces.
Right.
Because people will walk all over you.
Right.
They will take advantage of you. They will lie and manipulate you.
Right. And it goes back to balance. You have to understand when certain things are negative. Like there's reasons why there are things that are considered pro-social and there are things that are considered negative. they both exist in the world for a reason. In that, excuse me, you should not exhibit negative traits all the time. But something that you may see as a negative trait or may have a negative connotation might help you in a certain specific situation, as in be firm, not forceful, right? And you're right. Sometimes it is a semantic argument because sometimes you have to be firm with folks. So in my line of work, I know you do, but in my line of work, sometimes we have to be firm with people. I had to be firm with a dude. Now I ain't gonna cap. It didn't work because he ended up no showing a lot of stuff. But I told him straight up. I said, look, I see that you got this excuse, you got that excuse. And admittedly, when this happened, look, you know about it. I was mad. I was very mad. I was very angry because it's like you done flaked on me, and then you call me out of nowhere and be like, hey, can we just set this up real quick? Like you making it sound like it's my problem. I'm inconveniencing you when this is something that you're required to do in order to get what you need to get. And you knew this. You signed the documentation, did all that. You knew this. But anyway.
Hit him with a nod.
Look,
no, reschedule.
No, because I wanted the hour. So I'm gonna get this mug because you get on my nerves. But I told him, I had my rant moment when I was in the car. I got there and I said, you know what? I said, look, I'm gonna tell you. I need a solid day from you. Okay? I need something that you can commit to. Because I can't keep changing these things around. You know what I'm saying? Especially when there are other people that are putting in the effort, that are doing what they have to do, that are going above and beyond saying, what do I need to do in order to get where I need to go? Right? And you just sitting here lollygagging, complaining that your car don't work every other week, every day. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair to those who are putting in the effort for me to take out a block of time to wait for you when I could actually be helping someone else. Because at the time, we had a whole board of folks who needed visits. You know what I'm saying? I could have went to any number of those potentially, but I had to wait for you. And I said, you need to set a time. I wasn't mean. I wasn't angry. I told him, I'm like, you have to set a time. You have to make certain that this is done. Because if you want what you want, this is what you have to do. And there's been times where I've had to actually talk about these things where it's like, look, because naturally when you get in situations where you're dealing with your children, when you're dealing with your freedom, when you're dealing with people telling you what to do, yes, you want to rail against it and get mad. And you get certain ones to be like, I'm going to say whatever I want. I don't care. I'm going to do this. Look, listen here. It's like, I'll be like, listen. You have to play it like a game, not a war. Because if you try to wage war with these people, you will lose. Because that's what they prepare for. They prepare for a war. DCS, the courts, all them, they will fight you. But if you play it like a game, if you strategize, if you take your time, if you have your stuff documented, if you have things on paper that show that you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you adhere to those boundaries, once again, that they set, you have a better chance. You have a better chance of being in an advantageous position than you do sitting in the team meeting and getting pissed off and yelling at everybody every time somebody says something you don't like.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all, when it comes to these boundaries and y'all being out here dating, put those boundaries on the table first. It's gonna weed out a lot of bullshit. Promise you. Look. If you still got that person sticking around, chances are they're sticking around for two reasons. Mm-hmm. Either they truly do respect your boundaries,
or it's convenient,
and might even share some similarity, or like what NeRo said, it's convenient, and or they may be settling for the moment to try and change some shit around. Mm-hmm. Know the difference.
Yes.
And the way you know the difference is you stand on your square with your boundary. Mm-hmm. Because eventually, if a person playing or they faking it, they're gonna eventually crack.
They will crack.
And as soon as they crack, they're gonna expose themselves to really not like that shit. Yep. Oh, I gotta do this. This don't seem fair. Look. Or this is kind of silly.
Let the relationship start to fall off after a while, and they gonna tell you everything that they don't like about you. be like, you know what? That's why you ugly. Like all that stuff. You ever seen them videos where the girl's talking about where the dude feel like he fat and he's like, man, I feel like I gained some weight. She's like, it's okay. It's just kind of fat. It's all right. It's all right. You just fluffy. Look, as soon as they got in an argument, you know what? Your fat ass. Like,
right.
I thought you said it was cut away.
I saw a meme. My bro, my big shout out to my big brother. My brother shared a meme the other day that said, "You can't hurt my feelings. I grew up in a black household and I was fat. I was dying. I was dead. I was like, bruh,
that's upper level facts,
man.
Actually, you can't hurt my feelings. I grew up in a black household and I was skinny." That's even worse. Because they be looking at you like, why you ain't eating?
Man.
What's wrong with you?
But you know in black culture, we will roast anything.
Bro.
You don't get on somewhere with that umbrella.
Bruh, my grandmother stopped me before I got to the door, looking at me going like, are you really about to walk outside wearing solids and stripes? I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I'm just trying to make sure you're GQ, baby.
Man.
That ain't.
Look,
that ain't it. My mama got me bad and said, "It's like you look like you need to hold a sign that says we'll work for clothes."
Look, rest in peace to my cousin. I will never forget. This Negro drove me crazy one time because I had creases in my pants. It's like, man, you can't wear them like that. Don't nobody wear creases no more. I'm like, I want to wear them though. Like, nah, you can't do that. I'm not going to let you go out here like that. I'm just like, but I want to wear them.
Unacceptable.
He's like,
get
nah.
back in that room.
Shoot.
Look, you get back in that room.
He didn't like my hair neither. Like, when you going to cut that shit? I'm like, never.
Bro. When I say, man, look, shout out to my Uncle Ricky. Because this is low-key your fault. Because your sister was mad at you for your hair. So when I started growing my hair out, she looked at me. My grandmother looked at me. My loving grandmother was like, what are you doing with that hair? I had to pay for my own hair to get braided. She made, look, it was so bad that the lady who was doing my hair was like, look, you ain't got to pay me. She's like, no. You need to charge him something for doing that. Now, part of that is because they do believe in rewarding service, and Miss Lady D used to get me together all the time. She had me right every time. So but it was the energy she carried when she said it. She was like, no, you need to charge him something. And she looked at me. She's like, if you want your hair done, you gonna have to pay for it. Look, why do you think I learned how to do my hair? I got tired of paying $20 to $45 every couple weeks to get my stuff right. That ain't a lot. That ain't a lot when you an adult, but it is a lot when you like 16 and you ain't got no job and you in high school and you don't want to get crowned.
And all you got is that little money did you get for holidays or for doing some chores or some shit. I need this for video games.
Thank you. Because I can buy those too. Bro, I had a whole stash.
I can't get my haircut yet.
Look. I had a whole stash. I used to count that thing every month. On God, I used to periodically pull it out, count all the money. Look, that's how I learned how to count money. You count the big bills first, and then you move down, and you do it in increments of 10. If you can't do 10, you do 5.
Man.
And that's how you learn to count. Bro, that helped me out so good when I was in retail. Because I'd be like, because sometimes you had them folk that paid you in all 20s for something that was like $300. Actually, I had somebody do that for like almost $900. I was just like, okay.
Me every other night I got to close the store.
20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84. Look, going through the line. Make it look and recount.
Let's see. Kiki said, just saying, you can't hurt my feelings. I grew up in a black household. Is enough. When you know,
no cap.
To live is that no other hurt your feelings for real because you heard it all before.
Bro.
Man, any roast that could have came up. And it get worse too. We can make this shit like hyper local. Shit. When you grew up in a black household
I grew up
Chicago.
Look, I got a better one.
In the hood, in the projects.
You can't hurt me. I grew up in a black household with my grandparents. That's a generation gap and shade.
Come on.
Look, my granddaddy got me bad when I got my hair straightened one time because I was gonna get my hair braided later. Look, he walked up and my aunt was there. He goes, it's always great that I get to sit down and eat breakfast with my 2 daughters. I was like, really, bro? Really, bro? I'm like, bro. You can't hurt my feelings. I had a fro in high school. You know how horrible it is to have a fro in high school? You know what that shit does?
Man.
We started reading about Get Shorty, that freaking movie with the Spike Lee movie about Malcolm X, and they read the excerpt about him getting a conk and how horribly painful it was. You know what all them kids said? We should conk Nick's hair. I'm like, if you touch me. Bro, I used to use my pick as a weapon. Bruh. I used to hold that thing out and I'm like, I'll stab you right in your neck if you touch me. I had a dude who threw quarters at my head and then got mad when I wouldn't give him back.
Bruh. I was on the opposite end of the spectrum. I was the kid that had the ball fade. So you know what that meant growing up?
I like your cut,
Get your neck slapped, get your hair smacked. Yeah. Your hair smacked or your neck.
Or both. Oh! Look, you had some of them friends that had unhealthily big hands.
As kids. Like, what was y'all eating?
They ate all these.
Had them Oscar Mayer hot dogs and pork and beans and shit.
Look, you know what it was? They ate their Wheaties. Their favorite food was steak. They took them one-a-day vitamins that's for like them people that's 20 and up.
You could not have no bald head.
Ran up, look. I like
or anything close to a bald head.
They was 14 and sounded like this. I like your cut, G. Like, Jesus. You thought you saw the father after you got hit.
Walk around like this and still trying to protect your neck with your shoulders.
I do not miss those days. Woo. At all.
Get your neck lit up. Get the top of your head lit up. Not too long ago, you know what's funny?
They try to smack your hairline loose.
I saw a video not too long ago. I think it was TikTok. Literally somebody in Chicago doing that to some older man on the damn CTA bus. He was standing there. The man was sitting in his seat. The dude was at the second door to get off the bus. And right as he get off the bus, smacked the shit out the back of this man's head. I gotta find that video because that shit was hilarious.
That's why you should respect your boundaries. You don't need to be beating old men upside the head.
About to start a fight. Hey, my boy know too much about that.
Look, hold up. Kiki said it was the hand sanitizer they put on their hands before we heard the smack that made it work. Germ-X was your worst enemy.
Bro, I never got hit with the sanitizer because back then sanitizer wasn't as accessible.
You only got look. We only got hand sanitizer when we went on field trips and stuff. They like everybody put your hands out. And they had that one little bottle of Germ-X. Man. Look, and they like, look, you get a little bit, and you holding your hands out like this.
That
looking like Smeagol.
I remember What was another one? And boundaries in a black household, black culture. Y'all know boundaries.
Oh, I got kids. I got one for you. Ain't no shut doors in this house,
man.
What your door shut for? You ain't got nothing. That you don't hide nothing from me.
You don't turn no light. Don't turn no lights off up in here. You don't pay no bills. Close that damn refrigerator.
And you better not touch the thermostat.
Close that damn screen door.
Look, you letting out the good air.
Better have your ass back here before the street lights come on.
Yep, because otherwise, your friends gonna see something today.
Quit playing in that water, even when motherfuckers wasn't playing in the water.
You know you ain't washing yourself. Wash yourself with soap and water.
Right.
Why the rag wet and there ain't no soap?
Man. My mom used to get me real good. She'd be like, yo, big ass hands. I know you know how to wring out that damn wash rag. Listen, I'll be like, I'll wrung it out.
Look, you be sitting there.
This damn wash rag still down.
Look.
Hey, if you watching this, I love you.
Look, you be sitting there with your hands raw.
Your big ass hands.
Stay out of grown folk business. Yes. Look, the limit did not exist in the black household. Oh no. You know what my grandmother used to call my braids?
What's that?
My individual braids. It's like you got them goat titties in your hair. Bro.
What we used to call them? We used to call them when you had nappy hair, beady beads.
Ooh. Your kitchen messed up.
Man. BD beads. That's what we used to call them.
Ooh. Oh my God. She'd be like, oh, well, see, I like that style with you. Now, I don't know why you do that other style. That don't look right.
Shit. Don't be ashy.
No.
Don't be ashy.
Nope. They will pull up on you with the Vaseline. Now they got the Vaseline with the cocoa butter infusion, but shoot, black folk was doing that all along. They had the cocoa butter lotion, they had the Vaseline, they had
You had to have everything.
If your mama or grandma was bougie, she had the Aveeno, she had all
Avon.
that. Yeah, the Avon.
Shoot,
that's because the Avon lady went everywhere.
Man, my grandma was Avon lady at one point.
Look, my grandmother had an Avon bag that she used as a medicine bag for years.
Man.
That mug was about this big and it was blue. We always knew that was the one.
Them pink bottles and stuff, man.
Dog. Don't look like a grease monkey either. Ooh.
Don't sit on my couch. You ain't washed your ass yet? Man.
Look, you smell like outside.
Right.
What does outside smell like? You. What's wrong with you?
Take a bath.
Have you been... No. For those of us who grew facial hair early in life.
Not me.
You been cutting your hair? No. Why you got... There ain't no peach fuzz. Why you got that on your lip? Why you got that dirt on your lip? Like, it's just a mustache. It ain't my fault. Look, man.
We ain't got no shortage of them.
Oh,
and you know, black parents definitely knew how to impose rules/boundaries. You couldn't get nothing past nothing.
No. Look, the best thing you could hope for is just waiting it out and figuring it. I understand. As we got older and watch or have kids, I understand what outside smell like right now. Yes, you do.
I don't, because my nose doesn't work.
Well, I feel sorry for your kids. Look.
That'll be all right.
Here's my thing. Look, the one thing that you learn in the black household, at least what I learned in the black household, is that look, you eventually, like I said, you don't fight it like a war. You play it like a game. You know what me and my cousin used to do? Look, we broke all the switches and we hid all the belts everywhere.
I was on demon time.
It got to the point. Oh no, Papa was on demon time. It was up until I was almost 18. If you came over my house when I was still 18, well, I had just gotten out of the house. But if you came over my house when I was 17, there was a belt hung on every major doorway. Damn. And he just used to do it as habit. It became a habit after a while because we used to hide them all the time, just so it was easy access. Look, you know that one little high seat up there in the front in the kitchen? There was one hanging off of that. There was one hanging off of his door. There was one hanging off of Granny's door. There was one hanging off the door in the guest room. There was about 4 or 5 of them joints. Look, we broke all them switches. We weren't going through that. Now, what was the other thing? Bruh.
After 12, bro, I became impervious to the belt. So at that point,
we just learned not to react to it.
Yeah, I would just like jump because I feel it, but like it don't make me cry no more. So I just be flopping like a fish, and I just remember her being like, "Ah!" You know that's when your ass had to get cut. Oh, so this ain't working no more. And now I don't remember what she took it off of. She had a spindle. I don't remember. I think it was like off of some type of stand that she used to have or something. It was about, put this into the camera, about like that long, maybe, like about 4 feet. And she just started going with that once she realized the extension cord wasn't work no more.
The extension cord didn't work.
After the belt,
no.
after the spindle,
not the extension cord.
She just resorted to punching mugs. I don't remember what I did, but I got mad about something. And I like took something.
I shouldn't laugh at that. I'm going.
And she ran up on me and hit me in the eye.
In the eye?
The eye, bruh.
Who was this?
Well, listen. I didn't have no black eye, but she hit me in the eye about it.
Nigga, look, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Listen.
Look. I'm gonna tell you right now. That shit cannot happen now.
Oh no.
You would be a DCS referral just waiting to happen.
Man, hey.
You would get
to you new kids,
conservative white family,
and you new parents. To you new kids and you new parents. Y'all lucky as hell. All y'all. The kids, all of y'all are lucky. The parents, all of y'all are lucky. If you know, you know. You parents ain't got to go to jail.
With a
and
side
you
and a
kids
drink.
ain't got to get the life beat out you.
Yes.
Y'all have both been saved. You're welcome.
Y'all have been saved.
I went through so many whelps, so many dazes, so many. Y'all.
Oh, God.
I want to hear shit.
Oh, God.
Time out.
Oh, God.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, God.
Wasn't no time out. It was time in.
1, 2, 3 magic. Look.
Yeah.
There's an old video from the 80s or 90s that we're required to show certain folks because of discipline. It's called 1, 2, 3 magic. Sometimes that shit works if you actually do it right. But the way they be doing it, what it actually is really just learning how to dead the conversation before it becomes a thing 101. Which is basically when your kids be like, I want to go outside. Well, you don't need to go outside right now. But I want to go outside. Look, I just told you, you don't need to go outside right now. Well, I don't know why it's such a problem. Look, that's one. Oh, that's one. Why you got to have an issue? That's two. It's like, why is this? Look, if I get to 3, you going back to your room. But I just, go on.
And mean it.
Look, and shut that. Look, and in a way, no, I can't breathe. That was my line. Look, I hate it here. What you say? None.
I'm running away. Hey, how many of y'all said that or almost actually did run away? Raise your hand. Hold on so I can see my hand. Like,
I wanted to, but I was
deterred. Ran away at least once, sorta. I just went to my auntie house. Because my grandma was being on some other stuff. I love it though. The other time, I did not run. And that's when my uncle was tripping because I let somebody in his crib. Anyway,
you did what?
What she ain't supposed to do.
You lived?
Yes.
Did she live?
It wasn't a she. It was one of my boys.
Oh, okay.
We
That's why you
was just hanging out.
Oh. I told you not
to
have
your
little
ass.
Niggas in the house.
Man, don't bring nobody in my damn house.
Yeah, I went through that too.
Man.
I thought I was being a good Samaritan because he ain't had nowhere to stay. Him and his foster mom was having some issues.
Man.
Was having some issues. So he was like, man, I ain't trying to go back there. Something gonna happen. I'm like, well, look, my folks was out of town. I was like, well, you can just stay here for the day, right? Auntie ratted me out because she walked in, seen us, and she goes, and ratted me out. He's like, why you got them people up in our house? I was like, I was trying to do him a favor. He couldn't go back home. That ain't your responsibility. Is he your child? No. Then what you worried about? Don't be letting nobody in my house. I told you not to let nobody in my house. Look.
Man, come on.
Went into my room. Yes. Kiki said, went into my room, door turned the TV up and cursed her the F out in a whisper. I ain't gonna cap. Look, this is gonna sound nerdy. Look, this is gonna sound sad and nerdy as hell, but I don't even care. There was one time I got so mad. I don't even think I got my ass beat. I was just mad because me and my granddaddy used to clash when I was in high school. When I was in nigga, we used to clash to the point that grannies just got sick of both of us and was just like, you know what? I feel like she was about 2 good arguments away from just disowning us both. But I got so mad, I went into my room. Look, shut the look, punch in the air. No, I got one better. I pulled out a whole piece of drawing paper and I sketched out a whole fucking drawing out of anger. It helped though.
Of what?
This character that I had made up. Look, this nigga, but I had him like in a demonic form. Like he had the teeth, he had the blacked out eyes and everything.
Bro, it's like I'm so mad I'm gonna draw.
Dead ass, but it worked though.
Hey,
I was mad as shit, but that 30 minutes was cathartic. It was amazing.
Man.
Look, bro, one time I was recording, because I used to record freestyles on my netbook, and I was going in, right? I'm going in. I was so lit that I didn't realize that my grandmother that walked up, it recorded her. She popped up, she's like, necklace! Look, bro. I almost had a heart attack. My chest went from here to here in my throat. And I was just like, and I looked to the side, because I'm sitting like this. Let's see, if the door is right there, then I was sitting like this. So my back isn't to the door. Like I'm trying to think. Because the door was actually facing like that. But say like this wall was further back and I was sitting like this to it. So I didn't see her. I had to turn to the side to see her. So when she yelled, I looked up and went, my soul. She's like, what you doing all that yelling for? I was recording a song. You ain't got to be that loud. I was like, I'm sorry. Look, I waited till she walked off and recorded the rest of it. I left that part in just for dramatic effect because it just hit. I was like, bro.
Wildin'. As
y'all will never hear that song.
We've definitely reached the after party section of this here live stream.
Y'all will never hear that song. But for real, but no, one time, bro, where my landscape view. No. Look. No cap though. There was one time that my grandmother truly made me mad because she got mad and she tore the pages out of one of my drawing books, dog. That hurt my soul, bro. Damn. That was my soul. That hurt, bro. I was like, the f did I do to you?
Hey, listen.
Look,
can we take a moment of time to shout out toxic parent behavior? Listen, if you know, you know. Y'all ain't got to call out y'all parents now.
That because I said so shit? Yeah.
Can we just take pride in the fact that some of us are so strong because we suffer from mental
I love y'all. I do love y'all.
By our that we suffer at the hands of our parents doing fucked, petty ass shit. Some of y'all get y'all petty tendencies from y'all parents.
Oh God.
Whether y'all realize it or not, whether you do the same shit today
some of y'all be yelling across the room just because your parents did. Look, some of y'all be sitting there yelling and beating your kids all the time because your parents did. You know.
Shit,
some of us took the opposite route. Look, that's a segment in its own. Ain't it though?
Half of that shit. Half of that shit I did not deserve.
Them just
and I don't give a fuck what the rest of y'all say about y'all lives and y'all childhood.
Baby, I deserve.
I know for a fact. Call it what it is, goddammit. Be honest. Half of that shit I did not deserve.
I ain't gonna cap. There was one time. The worst whooping I ever got, at least that I can remember, is the one time that I got bent over the couch.
Well,
and look, I ain't never got a butt naked woman, thank God. Cause no. One time I saw my cousin have to lay out on the bed and she just went, I'm like, ooh. That nigga earned that shit because he used to always pick with her. But look, he earned that shit.
Imagine picking with your grandma. Like, you deserve everything coming for you.
Look, and also every time he would try to run from her, he would run himself into a corner. So he got what he got. Look, but
Kiki shooting from the three-point line tonight.
They've been waiting for when they had the kids to pass it down. They've been waiting for the chance to pull the same stunts. Yes, they used to talk about it. Man, when I had kids, I can't wait till I had kids. I'm gonna beat their ass. It's like,
yeah, I don't necessarily plan on whipping. Look, I don't necessarily plan on whipping my kids' ass. No. That don't mean I won't do it. It's just not something that I'm.
Let's just say it like this.
I'm trying to have to do.
Look. For me.
Not with no belt or nothing like that.
Right. Look. For me, what's one of them things that happened back in the day that was like a big ass weapon that they never used, but it was always implied, like in the old days.
Switch.
Old movies. No. I mean for real. Like. What's
Switch to for real?
Actually, hold up. Do you remember Transformers Armada?
I think so.
You remember the Requiem Blaster? You remember what that shit did to niggas? I'm gonna treat the belt like that. I ain't gotta pull it out, but just know it's there.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah,
look, the implied threat.
Listen, yes, that's how I want to be.
It's gonna be there. Look, it's gonna be. Look, he said it's gonna happen. Damn, Keontae.
I'm just gonna get. I'm gonna give you the look. You gonna know what that means. You gonna chill the fuck out.
Look.
I just want to be menacing enough that I don't have to whip ass.
I'm trying to employ that Claire Huxtable look.
Right. Yeah.
Strike that fear of God in you.
Yeah. No, I don't have to whoop your ass. I'm so menacing enough, and you respect me so much.
Right.
You know you don't want that with me.
Because you know what work is coming. Look, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm gonna use that shit. I can't say this to like my clients because we are actively supposed to encourage them to use other forms of punishment. So I can't say shit.
But this is a children's show.
Look. Don't beat your kids. Please don't beat your kids. It's one thing to whoop your kids. It's another thing to beat your kids. I'm not beating my kids. My thing is, it is going to be an absolute last resort. You know why? Because you know what happened to everybody who beat the hell out of their kids all the time? They got used to it. They got used to it. Or they found the number to DCS, whichever one came first.
Man, I got a whole story about that, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Look, some of y'all some of these kids these days are so damn bad, the parents is calling the cops on them. Yeah. I'm not kidding. You know what I'm saying? Look, some of these kids is bad enough to where you know how bad it is when you got to call the cops on your child.
Right.
Bro, I was strike the fear of God himself into you. No. I'm gonna be the parent that just does shit to you. I ain't got to beat you. Look, he said it's gonna happen. I wish I would. No. Keontae said I wish I would. Don't worry, we'll be there in attendance if it happens. But look, I'm gonna be that. You know what I'm gonna do? I already know what I'm gonna do. If they get to acting out in public, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's like, no. Let me talk to you. It's like, look, me and you gonna talk later. What? No, don't worry about it. Me and you gonna talk later. It's like, no. Go ahead and play with your friends. Enjoy yourself. Have a good day. Because soon as we get back home, all them little games you like, gone. That TV you like, that tablet, all that stuff is gone. Why are you gonna take away my tablet? Well, because clearly, since you lack the mental fortitude and the required intelligence to act like you got some sense in public, clearly these complex devices are above your current intelligence level.
This man has been practicing.
It's above your current intelligence level. So obviously you don't need them yet. They're above you now. So we're gonna need to start with the bare bones. Yeah. We're gonna have to start with the bare bone. You gonna take away my no. Don't start crying now. Go have your fun. Because this is gonna be your last moment of freedom. Enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. Go have fun. We gonna talk later. I'm just letting you know so that way you don't get to tripping when we get in the car and you see me taking all your stuff out in boxes. No. Look, because you know what hurt me the most out of anything that my grandparents did? It was the one time that my grandmother got so mad at me. And she always used to threaten me she was going to call my mama. She's like, I'm going to call your mom and send you with her. I'm going to call your mom and send you home with her. Look, so at this point, I'm in my junior year of high school. It's an empty threat. You know what I'm saying? What hurt the most, more than any whooping, any beating, any punishment, anything. And I'm talking about even when they took the cable out and all I had was the air channels and they hit my video games. Look, she took the phone. I remember like it was yesterday. I sat at the kitchen table and she's explaining all this stuff to me and she was mad. And I was like being dismissive because, I was a junior in high school. I was being an asshole, Look, she took the phone. She put it right in front of me like this and said, call your mama. What? I was sitting there like, hold up, what? It's like, yeah, call your mama. Tell her that you coming. Go ahead, and then you going to pack your things. And I'm looking at her with this face of, you can't be serious. You just said this shit so many times. And she said she put the phone. That was the first time she ever she threatened it. She joked around about it. She used to say it all the time. I love you, grannies. If you're watching this, you probably ain't. But look, she put the phone right in front of me. You know them old cordless phones. It was an old white cordless phone. And she said, call her. Call her. Do you not know that I learned the meaning of stalling for time that day? Bro. Look, I do have to shout out to my granddaddy because out of all the times that you and this man used to clash like the Titans, this was the one time that he came in. He's like, why are you sitting there with the phone? It was like, oh no, he about to call his mama. He leaving. He leaving today. And look, she called me during my spiel. Look, she's like, he's leaving today. It's like, why the boy got to leave? What happened? This man stood in the gap and was the reason why I made it to my senior year in that house. Because I swear to God, that hurt more than anything. I probably would have willingly took a beating over that. Like, she said, call your mama. Because you about to get your stuff and you are getting out. I was like,
Some of
you
y'all
just gonna disown me?
Some of y'all may wonder if there's any correlation between what we talk about now and boundaries. And I'm gonna be for real with y'all. The answer is yes, because how many of the boundaries some of y'all have set aren't even off of relationships, but off of
Right.
things that you dealt with when you was a kid, things you dealt with, growing up. Truth be told, I don't know about y'all, but some of my boundaries are based off of stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it, to be honest with you.
I mean, for real. Look. But you know what? You know what's funny? I had a teachable moment with that at one time because my folks got mad at me. My granddaddy got mad at me because we was making too much noise in the back, and they don't have them making all that noise. I'm like, bro, it's not that deep. It's like, no, don't have them making all that noise. That you ain't understanding. I'm like, you don't understand. Look, I'm thinking you ain't understanding. It ain't even that serious. They ain't even do nothing. It's like, it's my house. You want to make all that noise? You can go to their house. But as long as you here, as long as you're in my house, you go by my rules. And I got mad about it. Do you not know a few months later when I had my own place and niggas was in there acting a whole donkey? Mm-hmm. I kicked all their asses out.
Look, that's when it came back to life.
Look,
reality.
It did only months later. And I was sitting there like, look, one of them was sitting there trying to put his foot on my keyboard. Bro, I was about to cut his foot off. I was mad because they was calling themselves trying to record and do all kinds of stuff. I was like, y'all gotta get out. I got to the point where I was like, y'all got to get the hell out. You gonna kick us out? And look, my roommates is sitting there going like, what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing? And I caught myself saying the same thing. And I was yelling at the top of my lungs. I'm like, no, y'all gotta go. Get out. It's like, you can't kick us out. I'm like, it's my house. Get out. I was like, it's my house. If you don't want to adhere to my rules in my house and you want to be in my place, use my equipment, use up my electricity, and you want to act like you crazy, you can go. When I tell you, it kicked back into me, and I never let any of them back in either, except for like one, and he begged, and that was months later. I said, I told them, I said, you know what? Since y'all want to act different, because we was all supposed to be in a group. I said, since y'all want to be different acting about doing stuff in my place, y'all got to pay to use my stuff. What you mean we got to pay to use your stuff? I'm like, because you didn't know how to act when it was free. When I say I went full parent mode, I said, you didn't know how to act when it's free. So maybe if you got to pay something, you'll learn how to act.
Well,
I'm built for this shit. But ladies and gentlemen,
listen,
don't send your kids to my house.
We ain't gonna belabor the point, y'all.
Don't send your kids to my house. Don't send your kids to my house.
NeRo says don't send your kids to his house in case y'all didn't get the message.
Please don't.
But we ain't gonna keep y'all too late.
They either gonna love me or they're gonna hate me.
We done made it 2 hours here, and the bottom line is, y'all, set boundaries.
Yes.
For the sake of your own respect and comfortability,
please,
while respecting those same things for others.
Absolutely.
Please. And unpack the boundary. Yeah. Sometimes that might mean you got to take some inventory of why you may have that boundary in the first place. That might help the next person understand why it exists in the first place. So that way there can be a more common ground and mutual understanding. And lastly, do not cave on your boundaries for the sake of motherfuckers who don't respect them. Deal with people who do.
Yes. Hold up. The top chat be cheating on y'all because they don't like to see all the mean stuff because YouTube. Hold up. She said, Kiki said, and those be the same efforts I tell off on a day-to-day basis because, baby, I'm an adult too and age is a number. It's like an age and number. You gonna respect me, period, to get these hands. Dang. Look, she said, night, kings and queens, still sending them. I already got their bags packed.
Thank you.
They'll get sent back.
But ladies and gentlemen.
With a diaper bag and a purpose.
This has been the Black Intermittent Podcast.
Yes.
Brought to you by Twyman Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, we are available on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube.
Everywhere.
We even got our own website.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, let me put that up for y'all.
With that link, bruh.
It's right there. It's also in the description of this video. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and or Twitch, should be available where you can see it in the description.
Hit them with that
Click
link.
on that. That's where our podcast is at. We
Yes,
got the
sir.
audio version for the people who can't hang for this.
Yes, sir.
For the people who need something to pass the time, it's usually 30 minutes or less.
That's that drive, and when you're going on a long drive, because I do this when I'm
When
on
you
a
can't
long drive.
engage and sit here and watch it.
Yep. You
know-
know you ain't supposed to be touching your phone. Just click it.
We got merchandise on there. We got merchandise. Right. No return. Right.
No returns. No returns.
Yes.
At all. There are no returns. No return labels.
All sales are final. But
no, she said return labels for them kids. Oh, there is. I will pay the shipping to send them back. Don't try me.
The shipping.
Don't try me.
But yeah, y'all, we gonna let y'all rock out.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the Black in a Minute podcast.
Yes.
Please look us up. Google us. We on Google.
We appreciate we are on Google. We're Google official. We appreciate everybody coming through. We appreciate everybody relating your stories about boundaries and the stories about how many times your parents tried to snatch your soul in a bad way. We're glad that you survived.
Thanks. Yes, we are.
And for the parents who have done this or have engaged in these activities who are over the age of 40, we are not judging you. We're just speaking the truth of our existence, of our experiences. We're speaking our truth. We ain't gonna Me Too y'all because y'all too old anyway. All right. But at the same time, understand that some of y'all behaviors were not very pro-social.
Please respect people's boundaries.
Absolutely.
Whether they're yours or not.
Please do.
But
it's only right, and it's only look. As I heard from a wise person, she said, "You owe nothing to no man but to love them," which means, in my perspective, you owe nothing to no person but to respect them as you would like to be respected.
Treat others how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, y'all, we gonna get up out of here. I am the DarksKing poet. That's dark skin with a G on the end.
And I am NeRo AnGeLo.
And this has been Black in a Minute.
Peace out.
Power.